go beyond the speed limit. But in Pune, in India, in Jharkhand, it is all possible. You can go whichever way you want. Same individuals, some of you have gone abroad. When you have set up an appointment in some office in Washington DC, if the appointment is at 9 o'clock, you will be there at 8:55. But if you have an appointment here at 9 o'clock, 9:05 you will give a call, boss, बारिश में अटक गया हूं. क्या करूं बॉस, मैं तो निकला ही था, मेरे बच्चे को छींक आई है. We need to get out of this excusitis. Because each time you give an excuse, you are giving yourself an excuse of a success, from a possible success. Also, we want express gratification. We want express reward. I can tell you, as I was preparing the stage here, some of the people came and said, oh, I will put this banner behind. आमचा थोडं ख्याल ठेवा साहेब. This quest for express gratification has become a disease of corruption and disease of bribery. Because I believe those who give and those who accept are equally guilty. Because we want more. And then you play all the dirty tricks. I was talking to somebody that we need some lapel microphone. Until this evening, he didn't respond to me. Because then he can say, साहेब तुमच्यासाठी इतकं काम केलं मी, कुठून कुठून आणला हा माईक, पावसात भिजत गेलो, आता त्या माणसाने 4,000 रुपये मागितले. We take advantage of people's situations. And that also is a form of a corruption. You may not take a financial bribe, but we are emotionally bribing our loved ones. If you do this, I will give you a chocolate. Discipline cannot be fear-based. Because our teachers, at least in my time, created a fear-based discipline. If you behave properly, you will get good marks in the exam. If you do not behave properly, I will make sure that you will fail. Of course, you are creating a discipline in me, but which is a fear-based discipline. But if you are self-disciplined, you will be able to maintain higher tolerance for frustration, obstacles, and negative emotions. Self-discipline will allow you to obtain better health, better finances, better emotional state, better peace and harmony within yourself and with others around you. Well, that can only happen if you are able to accept the changes. Because one thing is very clear, whether you want to change or not, the page will be turned. Now the question is, how flexibly you want to accept that change. If you do not accept that change and be rigid, then suffering is for sure. And I think, therefore, accepting is important. The other thing that I learned, and I didn't realize until I met Sindhutai Sapkar, is that you work for the neglected. I liked managing biological informations, but I don't like those genome sequences. I like to learn about living plants and animals, find them where they are. So, way back in 1989, I coined the word biodiversity informatics. And then one of my teachers in the university, who eventually became one of the topmost knowledge management expert in this city, said, no, it is bioinformatics. I said, no, it is biodiversity informatics, because I'm talking about living things. He said, no, that is not important. Talking about the genes and the small things is important. And then he said, you know what? If you are not doing mainstream bioinformatics, you will never be successful. Fantastic. It's a great challenge to take on. 10 years down the line, I was able to put my vision together with other global leaders in the area called biodiversity informatics, which gave to birth to the Global Biodiversity Information Facility, where I became one of the staff members few years later. And that's how I spent about 7 to 8 years in Copenhagen. So I think you need to work in a neglected area. And when I saw Sindhutai Sapkal, I realized that how you can be successful by working for neglected areas, neglected people, and neglected issues. Chindi could have decided to commit a suicide when her family, husband's family, pushed her out of the house. But then she decided to work for orphan child. And today she is a mother to over 2,000 kids. That's Sindhutai Sapkal. That's Baba Amte. Baba Amte could have decided to work in the city. Instead, he decided to work for leprosy patients. So take on the area which is not touched by others. And therefore, I encourage you to work on neglected issues and neglected areas. There are several other principles, and I'm going to not dwell on it because I think Umesh has told me that it's around 5 minutes of my time left. You could find them in my book, Vishwasutras, but I have put them together into a 7-week system, self-help system. Each week, we will take you through one success principle. The reason we have put them into 7-week system is that anything new that you want to take needs to become a habit. In order to become a habit, you need to take a vrat. And vrats are usually 40 days vrat. And I said, let's top up with another 9 days because 7 is a very auspicious figure from all point of view because you have 7 chakras in the body. And so it's a 7-week self-help system that we will be launching soon. But before I conclude, I would like to go back to an issue which is of a topical interest and present day interest, is abuse to women. Remember, you can never be successful in your life if you are abusing women physically, emotionally, intellectually. And let me make a daring statement that each one of us in our personal life, in our personal relationship, abuse the woman we love the most. Because of the social conditioning, we have lost that art of making soulful love. We make love to deposit our stress into women's womb. And then she carries her emotional trauma, your emotional trauma. It takes about 7 to 8 years to get rid of each of the emotional stress that we deposit. So we need to get out of this express lovemaking. And we need to embrace on spiritual lovemaking. There's an amazing book written by Diana Richardson called Slow Sex. I would encourage you to read that. It changed my idea of how to be in love with a woman. Because it gave me an immense understanding that it is woman who is responsible for creativity. And therefore, I always believe that blissful womb is a key to peaceful world. If the womb at home is blissful, happy, you will be happy, you will be able to perform better. If she is not happy, you will not happy. And there are thousands, millions and crores of unsatisfied wombs around the world, which collectively creates a state of unrest. And therefore, I actually request you to worship any woman as a form of Shakti. And you know, I'm very much blessed. I have a nice relating experiences with all kinds of women from all parts of the world, of all ages and all professions. And that's such a blessing to have. But then, I think we need to understand that in order to make all this happen, we need to be spiritual. But then unfortunately, we understand spirituality as a religion. Religion is a way of behaving. Spirituality is how you are related to yourself. Spirituality is inborn. Spirituality cannot be taught. Behavioral patterns can be taught, but nobody can tell you who you really are. That quest to me is the quest of spirituality. If we walk on the path of spirituality, we will be submitted to life. We will flow with the flow of life. We will be always in a gratitudinal sense. Gratitude for everything that we have been bestowed with. We will be in an art of living, and we will be able to touch more lives. To me, success is not how successful we become, I became, but how many successful lives I can touch, how many lives I can shape. And most importantly, because today we have this quest for materialistic richness, it is very important to be rich, at the same time to be a monk. I learned this from Osho's discourse called Zorba the Buddha. Richness and spirituality are the two sides of the same coin. And therefore, I would encourage you to read that as well. To sum up, there are several aspects that I wanted to talk today and we couldn't cover. But I would encourage you to come and join the self-help system called Vishwa Sutras, which is 7-week system that we have put together. And I have been blessed with friends like Dilip, who self-volunteered to come up with 51 different types of meditations on different aspects of success. To put up in summation, I like to refer back to Deepak Chopra. Deepak has put together 7 laws of spiritual success. The first is you are a pure potential. You can create your own future. What you will give is what you will receive. The law of giving and receiving. The law of karma. The law of least efforts. And the law of intention and desire. In order to achieve, you need to intend first, you need to desire it. But you need to be detached. Karmanne vadhikaramaste ma phaleshu kadachana. Your success, you are not responsible for the result. You are responsible for the efforts that you put in. And then all that can happen if you understand the law of dharma or purpose for life. And understanding this purpose for life is one of the most essential things. More you understand yourself and your purpose in life, the success, more success will touch your feet. And on this very note, let me invite Dilip to take you through another meditative journey for a few moments. I would request that think about some of these points. Some you may have liked, some you may not have liked. But think about them. And you know, usually after such an inspirational talks, we become peppy and we like to share with others. Tonight I would request you, as you leave this hall, go out in silence. Ponder upon these issues and then ask the question, do I deserve the state I am in? Can I achieve more? Am I able to achieve what I deserve, dream, and what I am capable of, and think about how quickly you can achieve. Because I strongly believe that success is not a chance. Success is a matter of choice. And now, let's make a choice to invite Dilip onto the stage and take you through a meditative journey. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and give a big round of applause to Dilip as he walks onto the stage.